In today's video, I have for you 4 items from a very quick thrift haul that I'm going to share with you. And these 4 items are going to get a makeover. I think you're really going to like how they turned out, and I can't wait for you to see them. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. My name's Melissa. Now let me quickly show you this very small thrift haul, and then we'll get started on these thrift makeovers. All right, now this is a very quick overhaul of my thrift haul. So I'm just gonna do this very quickly because I wanna spend more time on the thrift makeovers. But this is what I got from St. Vincent de Paul. And for all of this, I spent about $17. I got these 4 books. They were in really good condition. I got this really cute little teddy bear, and he's very vintage. You stand him up, and then this little basket opens, and he does like that. That's really cute. All right, so then I got these little plates for Christmas. I got a really good deal on those. I absolutely love these little tea sets, the cup and saucer. This one is absolutely adorable. Please look at that. That's so cute. And I got a really great deal on those. This is gonna be a makeover, but this one is gonna be for another day because this one's gonna be a little more intensive, but I only paid $1 for this. So, but I love the little knobs on it, but it has a lot of texture. So this is gonna require a little bit more. So that's gonna be a thrift makeover for another day. But then I got this little footed candy dish as well. So all of that came from St. Vincent de Paul for, like I said, I think it was about $17. This all came from Salvation Army on Wacky Wednesday, and I paid $30 for all of this. I got these 2 really chunky candlesticks. I love these. This one and this one is going to get a makeover today. I love, oh my gosh, these 2 little bunnies. They are so teeny tiny. Look how little teeny tiny they are. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep these or if I'm going to put them in my booth yet. I may be keeping those, but they're so cute. This right here cracks me up. I really was like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. I wonder who this is by. And then when I went to take the price tag off, I only paid 50 cents for it, by the way, but look, Dollar Tree. This is definitely an older Dollar Tree find, because when I looked it up, everything was coming up vintage, and eBay's selling these for like $20. So anyway, got that. I got this Easter egg platter back here for a great price. Okay, this is very vintage, and a lot of people are selling these on eBay as is, and people are buying them, but I don't know. Should I make this over, or should I just try to sell it as is? You let me know. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do on that one. I got this really pretty, I've pulled it up. I mean, it looks like a ginger jar to me, but some things I've pulled up is calling it like a candle holder, but it's a ginger jar. But anyway, got that. I got this as a condiment jar, if I don't break everything. Condiment jar, and this is leaded crystal. Now I'm not sure what this is, y'all. Let me know. I've pulled up a couple different things. It's a handmade broom, but I've seen some things that says witch's broom, which if so, I need to get this out of my house and pray over my house. But other things says a whisk broom. So I don't know, y'all let me know. But anyway, this is going in my booth. I got all these candlesticks. All these candlesticks I paid like $1 for. So, and these are all fixing to fall over. This one I did pay $250 for, and this one's probably staying at my house. Let me put that over there. These two things are like tassels, but they're candle holders, taper candle holders. And these are getting a makeover today. I got this cute little tray. He's got a little frog on him, so that's cute. Then I got this. This is getting a makeover, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna make this over for my house or for my booth, but this is getting a makeover today. This really pretty chinoiserie vase, that's going in my booth. And then these really pretty Christmas glass or crystal, whatever, Christmas trees. This one has kind of a green on the inside, and then this one has red on the inside. And then this I thrifted, and I took the price tag off already, but I don't remember how much I thrifted it for. But it's got little gold specks in it, and especially like up in here, but I feel like the frame doesn't do this justice. This is actually a, it says made in Canada, and it says Art in Motion, Arnie Fisk. This is on the back, and the back is still in really good condition, but I feel like the frame is not, it's just like blah. So for this makeover, this is gonna be really simple. I'm just gonna take some gold rub and buff and just kind of go over the edges and go over these dots and go over the edges just to kind of make it stand out a little bit more. And then that's going in my booth. So those are the 3 makeovers you're gonna get. I feel like 2 of them are gonna be pretty quick and easy. That one especially is gonna be really quick. So let me go ahead and get started with these thrift makeovers. I feel like the color of this frame isn't doing this any justice. So there just needs to be a little bit more contrast. So I'm gonna use this, it's the Waverly Antique Wax chalk paint, or the wax, but I have it just watered down just a little bit. So I'm just gonna use that just to go over, and it's a pretty slick surface, so it's not really doing a lot of like building up. It's basically just kind of darkening up that frame just a little bit, which I think is just going to be pretty because it is just going to sort of set the frame apart just enough to where you really notice the picture more. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on the whole thing, and I may actually tape off the edges just so that I can do the inside a little bit and not get any on the picture. But I'm going to go ahead and do this around the whole thing and just get this frame a little bit of a different color before I add that gold rub and buff. Once I had it all taped off, I just continued on with that antique wax, and as you can see, I did also go around the outer edges, and I didn't wipe anything back. I just used my brush and just kind of, if I saw it was getting too heavy in one area, I just kind of spread it around, and I just really like the way this turned out. All right, I actually think I really like the way this looks. It looks more like wood and less like painted plastic. So I'm happy with the way this looks. Now I'm gonna go over, once I get this tape off, I'm gonna go over the raised parts with some gold rub and buff. Not too much, just enough to kind of mimic some of this shiny in the picture. And then this little makeover will be done. And this is what it looks like. I think this looks so much better. I just feel like it separates the frame from the picture. And I love the gold because it ties into the picture so much better. But anyway, I'm very happy with it. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments. Alright, for this one, I was going to just do like, make it look like just pottery. But I think I have a really pretty transfer set that I want to use. So I think I'm going to use it on this. And I got the sticker off the bottom. Tried to get these off, but these are on really good. So I'm just going to have to paint around them and just be really careful when I do. But I'm going to go ahead and get this painted, and I'm going to use the Dixie Belle drop cloth paint to paint it. And I will probably paint the inside as well, at least down to the bottom part. I won't be able to get in the bottom, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this painted, and I'm not sure if it'll take one coat or two, but we shall see. I painted the inside first, and I actually did get all the way down at the bottom, but for the outside, I painted one side first, and once I brushed it on, I went back over it and kind of stippled my brush just to get rid of brush strokes, dried it, and then painted the other side the same way. Now the transfer set that I'm going to use, or the transfer I'm going to use, comes from the transfer set, the Redesign with Prima Garden Whispers. I just love the colors on this, and I'm probably going to put something on both sides. So I'm just going to pick, I think I may use part of this one and maybe this. I don't know. I'm going to just pick one for each side and go ahead and get the transfers on. I didn't mention earlier, but I did get this 2 coats of paint. But to put this transfer on this curved surface, normally I'd lay my whole transfer down, but I only laid the first half down, and I cut around some of the edges just to make sure that I would be able to peel that back up and lay it on the curved areas of the pot. And then once I got about halfway, then I started laying down the second half and made sure I cut around those edges as well. And then once that was all laid down, then I rubbed that transfer down with that vellum just to make sure it was all laid down. Then I went over it with a clear coat or a coat of the clear wax. I didn't want to do anything else to this. I didn't want to distress it. Didn't want to use antique wax. I loved the way it looked just like this. So I just used the clear wax, and I think this turned out absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love this. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments. I'm really forcing myself not to keep this for myself, but I just think this transfer set is beautiful, and I will have a link to our store in my description box. So if you want one of these, you can go to our Facebook page and we can set you up with an order. Alright, so now I'm going to make these over, and I was initially gonna do these in like change out this gold because this is like a really bright gold, but I think I'm gonna do green because green is really selling. So I'm gonna use the moss, and so I'm gonna give this, I'm gonna definitely do 2 coats for sure, see how that covers, and then go from there. But I'm just gonna give both of these 2 really good coats of the paint. Now I am going to, I did do 2 coats, and I am gonna cover these with a white wax. And I don't wanna change the color of the green too much. So I did spray it with this acrylic sealer in the matte finish. And I try to get a kind of a light coat because it's really not that much of a light or a matte finish if you get it too heavy. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then once it's dry, then I'm gonna go over it with a white wax. Now I started going over it with the white wax, and I was gonna start wiping it back with a baby wipe, but I felt like it was not coming up as much as I wanted. So I used a paper towel, but it was still not coming back enough. So I went and got my clear wax. So I started going, once I would wipe it back, then I would go back over it with a clear wax and kind of even it all out and then wipe it back again. And that gave it the finish that I wanted. So when you're working with these waxes, they're really easy to work with when you combine them together. So that was basically all I did to this one, and I think these turned out really pretty. They are not as gaudy as the gold, and I just think they just look very pretty. They're very dainty and just very pretty. Let me know what you think of these in the comments below. Now I think I'm going to only do one of the candlesticks, just because once I started looking at them, it looks like they're going to need a little bit of work. This one has, I don't know if you can see it, but this one has some kind of peeling away of the finish, and like right here, this kind of looks, I'm not really sure what's going on, so I'm going to have to do some sanding. And there's also a spot somewhere on here that I'm gonna have to use, oh, it's on here, right here. I'm gonna have to use some wood filler, so I'm gonna have to let that dry. So I am gonna have to do some cosmetic work, so I'm just going to do this candlestick for this thrift makeover video. But I'm gonna go ahead and do some sanding, use the wood filler, and get this ready, you know, get this primed and ready to start doing the makeover. The first thing I did was just kind of sand around in those areas that the paint was kind of lifting, or the finish was kind of lifting, and just kind of felt around until all of that area was smooth, cleaned up all that sanding dust, and then I used my wood filler to fill in some of those cracks, fill in some of those uneven areas, and then I let that dry. Once all that was dry, then I went back and sanded all that again until all of that was sanded down and smooth. I did decide that I was going to give it a spray of some shellac, just because I had all those kind of uneven finishes, so I'm using this Zinsser shellac to give it a spray of this finish. I also feel like the shellac is going to help it, since this was kind of a smooth surface anyway. That shellac is going to help the paint. So all that's dry, and now I'm going to go in with the Dixie Belle in the color drop cloth to paint all of this. And I do give it 2 coats. The first coat goes on pretty thin because it is so smooth, but I do give it the first coat, I do give it a good coat, and then I go back and do kind of a stippling motion with the brush to get rid of those brush strokes, and then I go back in with a second coat and do the same. I'm really liking the Dixie Belle paint. I haven't been using it very long, but I really do like it. I feel like it does give really good coverage, and the 2 coats did cover it really well. And I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do after this. I thought about a transfer, but then I just decided I was going to just give it a little bit of sort of a distressed look, and I'm using this distress ink, and this is the first time I've ever used it, but I'm just gonna very lightly kind of go over the edges. I end up going over the edges with this dauber, and I'm kind of using the dauber and my finger, just kind of whichever works best for whichever area I'm working with. And I also did use the dauber on the flat surfaces of the kind of the candlestick itself, not so much around the edges. But then once that was done, this was pretty heavy and I didn't want it to look bruised, so I go in to do the finishing touch of the wax, and I did use the wax to kind of even all that out and just make it look more finished. So once all of that wax was done, this project was finished, and I think it turned out really pretty. It has just enough a distressed look or an old look to make it look pretty without it looking beat up. So I really like the way this turned out. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments. And before we take one last look at all of my thrift makeovers, I would like to share a Bible verse with you, and this comes from Hebrews chapter 13, verse 16, and it says, "And don't forget to do good and to share with those in need. These are the sacrifices that please God." I hope the Bible verses that I share with you bless you in some small way, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you enjoyed the haul, and I hope you enjoyed the thrift makeovers. You'll have to let me know which one of the thrift makeovers you liked the most. I think they all turned out really pretty, and like I said, they were very simple makeovers. They didn't require a lot, and they were very quick, but I think they made a really big and a really nice impact. I'm not sure which one's my favorite, but I do want to hear from you. Let me know which one is your favorite. And if this is your first time here to my channel, I really do want to thank you so much for coming by and being a part of, what I do here. I love doing thrift hauls and thrift makeovers and shopping hauls and home decor. So if that's something that you enjoy, then go ahead and click that subscribe button and click the bell button so you're notified when I upload new videos. And everybody give this video a big thumbs up because it does help me out with YouTube. And if you want to see more thrift makeovers, then go ahead and check out the boxes you see on the screen right now, and I'll see you next time. Bye.